Captain C.A. Richardson here from Hells Bay Boatworks, and I wanted to share a little fishing tip with all the Hells Bay fans. One of the techniques I like to utilize during the cooler months is to fish a little bit deeper zones for redfish and trout. And one of the unique ways to accomplish this is to borrow a technique from the bass guys. And the technique that I like the most, that's a lot of fun to fish in cooler water temps, is the Carolina rig. And you might say, well, what's a Carolina rig? Well, let me show you for those saltwater light tackle fans that aren't familiar with it. What I do is I tie a no-name knot to a heavier piece of leader. And I only make that piece of leader about 6 inches long, and I have it connected to a swivel. But in between the heavy leader and the braid and the swivel, I have a glass bead and a bullet weight, a tungsten bullet weight. What happens is they make a clicking sound. They don't move very much because I have them on a short leash here, but they make that clicking sound that sounds like a shrimp or a crab. Below that swivel, I tie a lighter piece of leader. That's about, 2 feet long, sometimes even 30 inches. Attached to the end of that leader, I have tied a light wire 3/0 circle hook. This is a Mustad Ultra Point circle hook. Now the way I like to fish this, because it's a light wire circle hook that doesn't require a hook set, fish catch themselves, is I'm going to put a small curly tail bait. Now this is a scented bait made by Z-Man. What's unique about the Z-Man baits is that they're made from a proprietary material called Elastec. Elastec has a couple of killer qualities. One is it's almost bulletproof when it comes to little fish, chewing on it, so it lasts a long time, so it's very durable, but it's buoyant, so it floats. And by putting this little bit of weighted hook on there, it will hover above the bottom with this weight anchoring it to the bottom. So I'm gonna thread it on here in a fashion where it's gonna act like a keel. And I run it just like this, push it up on the bait, on the hook, even cover the knot so it'll stay, so it looks just like that. So when it's at depth, you're gonna have this little clicker down here on the bottom making all this noise, and this buoyant piece of plastic, or Elastec, it's not really plastic, is going to be off the bottom. It's gonna be floating. So as I drag and click with my fishing rod, this bait is going to be moving across the bottom, suspended probably about a foot or so off the bottom. What's nice about the curly tail is that even in tide, let's say we're fishing a creek, a hole in a creek, or even a river, a small river, the tide or the current will create this tail some motion. So it's gonna appear like it's swimming. And all I'm going to do is drag it as it swims. When the fish hits the bait, engulfs the bait, because it's a circle hook, I don't have to do anything. He's gonna pull, he's gonna feel the weight of this 3/8 bullet weight, panic, run, set the hook on himself basically, because you're gonna be using a medium heavy action rod so that it's quite easy for this hook to set itself. And that's all there is to it. Now these particular baits, these curly tails, are scented from Z-Man, so they already come with Procure infused in the bait. So basically, you're slow fishing this. It's like worming for bass. And I can tell you, time in and time out, when I'm fishing with inexperienced anglers or kids, this is a fantastic way to catch fish because it literally catches fish on its own. So the next time you get a nice good cold front day and you're fishing that residential canal for some trout or some small redfish or snappers on the bottom, you want to try something different, try this Carolina rig. I think you're going to find that it catches an awful lot of fish and it's a lot of fun to use. Captain C.A. Richardson checking out.